So as a big time Apple enthusiast, it always pains me to say when somebody asks me, hey, should I get an iPad or should I get a MacBook? I usually steer people towards that MacBook, and the main reason is just the overall price to performance ratio. Yes, the iPad is more fun to use, I love the iPad. The iPad to me is my own personal computer and my main computer, but for most people, the $900 M1 MacBook Air is a better buy than a 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Then you have to spend $350 on a Magic Keyboard, and then another $130 on a Apple Pencil 2, and then maybe even a screen protector between 20 to 60 bucks. So that starts to add up extremely quickly compared to that $900 MacBook Air that has everything you need in the box. So for years, especially since the Apple Pencil 2 and the Magic Keyboard came out, I've been scouring the internet to see if there's an accessory alternative to these main products that don't break the bank, because $350 for an accessory, no matter how good it is and how much I actually love that accessory for the iPad Pro, it's still a hard pill to swallow from a cost perspective. So I think I might have found some accessories that are definitely worth your while, and there's usually, again, the two main accessories. The Magic Keyboard, the main fault of the other accessory brands is that the trackpad doesn't work, and then with the Apple Pencil 2, the main fault of those Apple Pencil 2 alternatives is the magnetic charging connection on the iPad Pro. So let me walk you guys through some of these accessories that I found, because I think finally I have a pair of accessories that are worth recommending. Let's get into it. So let's start with the Apple Pencil alternative. So this is the EIP Pencil Pro. And if you guys see what I have on my desk, I always have like 5 or 6 different Apple Pencils that I'm testing out at the same time. I've tried the Panoval ones, I've tried the A4 Pro ones, I've tried the cheapest ones which are around $20, I've tried more expensive ones that are about $60. And for the most part, these Apple Pencil alternatives get the job done. So depending on which one you spend your money on, if you go with the cheapest route with a $20 one, it's gonna have some missing features like the magnetic connection, the Bluetooth connectivity, maybe tilt sensitivity and things like that, versus when you get something a little bit more expensive like one that's worth $60, you're gonna add all those extra features in there to kind of get you as close as possible to that Apple Pencil 2. But again, think about it. That Apple Pencil 2 is still retailing for $130. Yes, Amazon usually sells it for about $100 or $110, but from Apple, they're $129, and that's been out since the 2018 iPad Pro. We're now going on 5-6 years with an identical product, and it's unfortunate that Apple hasn't kind of reiterated on that one. But one of the biggest conveniences of the Apple Pencil 2 is being able to slap it onto your iPad Pro and be able to charge that Apple Pencil magnetically and wirelessly. And that is the main feature that has been missing from these Apple Pencil alternatives. So with this EIP Pencil Pro, I saw it on Amazon and it did give me the promise that it does charge magnetically, so I actually purchased it and I decided to test this thing out to show you guys what I found. And from that perspective, when I first opened the box, it brought this weird kind of charging cradle. So in my mind, I'm like, oh man, like they kind of, yes, it is technically wirelessly charging, but it's not going to magnetically charge on the iPad. But then I tested it out and then immediately it starts charging on the iPad, and I just had an epiphany moment. This is a $40 Apple Pencil alternative that gets you, usually I say that it gets you 90% of the way there, but this gets you 100% of the way there, right? It has tilt sensitivity, pressure sensitivity, it has an alternative nib that comes in the box itself. It attaches magnetically to the iPad Pro, it charges magnetically to the iPad Pro. So it does connect via Bluetooth, which you would think it would probably slow down that millisecond transition of being able to actually just write on the actual screen itself, as opposed to that 9 millisecond in terms of delay with the Apple Pencil 2. But overall, like if you put these side by side, they pretty much do exactly the same thing. The only thing is that from a build quality standpoint, you could tell that the Apple Pencil 2 is just slightly heavier because this one is made out of plastic. But again, for $40, and I believe there's a 10% off coupon even, so for like $35 to $40, this thing gets you 100% of the way there from a function standpoint. So again, that lowers that barrier of entry of being able to get these accessories for an iPad Pro, and maybe changes the way I recommend whether you should get an iPad or whether you should get a MacBook. Because again, $130 for an Apple Pencil, which don't get me wrong, is a great accessory for the iPad and normally is a must-have for designers and creators. But being able to get you 100% of the way there from a feature and function standpoint for a third of the price is finally a game changer. And again, it charges magnetically. You have a 90 milliamp hour battery, so it's small, but that gives you 12 hours of straight runtime being able to work on it if you don't charge it. But again, slap it onto your iPad Pro and it's charging automatically. One thing that I will say is that the only feature you are missing is that double tap shortcut, which again, you can't really customize it to begin with on the Apple Pencil 2. You only have a few customization options. So the fact that they omitted it, again, some sort of cost savings needed to be done. It's totally fine by me. So for $40, this is going to be my #1 recommendation for somebody that's looking for an Apple Pencil 2 to get the job done 100% of the time, but doesn't want to spend $130 on a 5-year-old device. Since this is a Bluetooth device, you can use it with as many iPads as you would like, and you don't need to actually need that magnetic charging function to actually be able to use it. Because like I said, in the box, it brings a little cradle for you to be able to actually charge this up, which is great to have, but it does work with pretty much any iPad that has a Bluetooth connection. So it'll charge magnetically with any iPad that supports it. So think iPad Pro 2018 and newer, think the new iPad Air, so iPad Air 4, as well as the M1 iPad Air, and then you also have the iPad mini, but this will even work with the iPad 10th generation. Even though it won't wirelessly charge, you can still use it as an alternative to the Apple Pencil 1 solution that they're still giving us with that iPad. So this one, the EIP Pencil Pro, it's finally an Apple Pencil to give the Apple Pencil 2 a run for their money, and I highly recommend it if you need an Apple Pencil 2 but don't want to spend the $130. But now let's talk about the Magic Keyboard, because when the Magic Keyboard released, it was a game-changing product or accessory for the iPad. It turned the iPad into a completely different product set. It turned it into a laptop replacement. It kind of completely changed what the product of the iPad is and how versatile it could be. But again, a lot of companies have come and gone trying to replicate it, not only from a design standpoint, but also from a function standpoint. You saw companies like Bridge rise and fall trying to mimic the actual trackpad experience of the Magic Keyboard, and they just were not able to replicate it. So this Magic Keyboard alternative that I'm going to show you, I was just browsing through Amazon and I stumbled upon them. And for the 11-inch version, which is supported by the iPad Air 4 and 5, as well as the 11-inch iPad Pro, it is $100, and then for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, it's $130. And I've tried a lot of these keyboards out in the past, and for the most part, they work, right? They charge via USB-C, they connect via Bluetooth, the keyboard works totally fine, just like any other Bluetooth keyboard. But again, a lot of these companies are unable to mimic the trackpad experience that you get from the Magic Keyboard. So this is a Magic Keyboard alternative that I will recommend, especially from a trackpad situation, because the trackpad, from what I've been able to see, I've been testing this for a couple days now, and I haven't seen an instance where it's jittery, where it's missing a click, where it kind of skips over applications or skips over where my finger is moving. The only thing that I will say is that instead of being that same flat design so you can click it everywhere that you want, this is a dive board classic design. So the bottom 2/3 is going to be the physically clickable area of the Magic Trackpad itself, whereas you can still tap to click on the top portion of it. It just won't click down physically when you are clicking on the actual Magic Keyboard and the trackpad. But again, for $130, it's so hard to complain about it. It has that same kind of like soft rubbery material feel that the actual Magic Keyboard is made out of. It has the hinge, I would say even goes back a little bit farther, but it still has that same hinge design that we've actually grown to love. It's got the camera cut out on the back. You get a set of function row keys, which is something you don't have with the Magic Keyboard. The keyboard is chiclet style, but it's a little bit different. Like the Magic Keyboard is very similar to the macOS Magic Keyboard, but this one has little divots in there, which some people might think is a little bit more comfortable because it does have even more key travel as well. And then the trackpad itself is relatively the same size, if not even a little bit wider. And what I was able to find out is that it works really well. You can click, you can swipe up to unlock. All the gestures are still there, so you can go into your multitasking with 3 fingers. You can go scroll through with 2 fingers. It's not jittery at all. It's very smooth overall. They do say that when you open the box, they give you instructions on how to set it up to get the best possible outcome, which is through accessibility. I'm just really impressed with what they were able to do overall. Like I mentioned, you do not actually have the 3-pin connector, so this connects via Bluetooth, so you will need to charge it separately. But again, a $220 savings coming from the $350 Magic Keyboard to the $130 keyboard that I have right here is a game changer. And the final product that I wanted to try was one of these magnetic screen protectors that I've seen all over the place. I've been using paper-like screen protectors for the better part of 4 or 5 years now at this point, and I love them. Those screen protectors are great, but I wanted to try one of these magnetic ones to see how it worked overall. And for the most part, this is kind of genius, right? Being able to use magnets to attach your actual screen protector onto your iPad, and then it's easily removable. You can easily put it to another iPad if you want to. And it does give you that kind of paper-ish feel on the actual screen itself, which is great. There's a little bit of glare on there, but this screen protector will still get the job done for you at a lower price. So now that we have our 3 main accessories, right? We have our Apple Pencil 2 alternative, our Magic Keyboard alternative, and then we also have a screen protector. So now you can go out and get yourself a refurbished iPad for a much cheaper price, because right now they have iPad Air 5s for a low price from a refurbished standpoint, even an iPad Air 4 if you want to. Maybe if you find yourself a 2018 11-inch iPad Pro that's still refurbished, because those still work great, you can find some of those for sub $500. So let's say you find one for $400, you have a $130 Magic Keyboard alternative, the $40 pencil, the screen protector. Now you have a whole package for less than $600, which for me, now that's something that you can recommend moving forward, because you get pretty much an identical experience, a one-to-one experience between the Magic Keyboards, between the Apple Pencil, and the iPad itself you can get for a refurbished price instead of getting it brand new. So like I said, for $600, you have yourself a very, very capable machine. But I just wanted to shed some light on these products because, like I said, I've been looking for some alternatives to these more expensive Apple accessories. I haven't been able to find a complete one-to-one from a trackpad experience, as well as from that magnetic wireless charging experience on Apple Pencil 2, but it looks like now we finally do have it. I'm going to link these down below for you guys to check out, and I highly recommend it, especially if you want to bundle it up, like I said, for a cheaper iPad Pro or cheaper just iPad setup overall to get you guys that same experience. But that is going to do it for this video, everybody. If you did enjoy, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. Shout out to Gary Bells from commenting on the last video. Definitely leave a comment down below so I can shout out the next person from this video in the following video. Trying to get everybody as involved as possible in the community because we love to see it. But let me know what you guys think about this solution. Have you guys tried cheaper alternatives from a keyboard and Apple Pencil perspective? Are you somebody that just gets whatever Apple kind of brings out whenever they do? Because like I said, that $350 Magic Keyboard is a great accessory and I recommend it if you're able to purchase a $350 accessory. But again, it's just an accessory to a product versus this, it is an accessory but at a much cheaper price point, which lowers that barrier of entry, which makes me want to recommend the iPad just that much more. But that's going to do it, everybody. If you did enjoy, like I said, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below. And if you guys want to watch some more iOS, iPadOS, or macOS content, click on one of these right here. But until next time, I'm Fernando. I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.